Wow, how glad I am, my dear lovely family, brothers and sisters, to be with you at this time and sharing some interesting and exciting stories from our mother continent, Africa. So in this video, we are going to look very keenly and to share our thoughts on the comment made by Professor PLO Lumumba on the idea of deporting U.S. prisoners and criminals in the continent of Africa. Professor PLO Lumumba has declined and said this is disrespecting of Africans or African continent to allow criminals from other places into the continent of Africa. Professor has said they are not good for them, but they are good for us. Here is what the professor has said.
Her agenda will be defined for her. Look at what is happening now. The government of the United States of America is exporting unwanted criminals to the continent of Africa. And we are receiving them gleefully. I saw some go to Eswatini.
Yes.
Some will be exported. The criminals are not good for America, but they are good for Eswatini. And we accept it. Africa will continue to be in this space as long as she is divided into little countries. Benin, Eswatini, Lesotho, Cabo Verde, Comoros. We must speak with one voice. One would have thought that one of the ways in which Africa would do this was initially through the regional economic communities. 14 ECOWAS countries, 14 SADC countries, 8 East African Community. We thought that that would then lead to the African Union so that when you want to talk to Africa, you talk to Africa in Addis Ababa. And the good doctor said it. Can you imagine that little Qatar calls all African leaders and they go by private jet? And they go to Qatar in Doha, which is smaller than Lagos. The whole of Qatar is smaller than Lagos.
To sign the peace deal.
To even beyond that, to listen as to how they can have investment in the continent of Africa. But I always say that international relations is the law of the jungle. We must hunt in packs. Wolves hunt in packs. So it is our duty as the continent of Africa to define what we want. If we met in Addis Ababa, the 54 plus countries, and said, from this day henceforth, if you want to deal with us from an economic standpoint, speak to us in Addis Ababa. If you want to know our foreign policy, speak to us. If you want military collaboration, speak to us. If you want all this, speak to us.
Yes, that is Professor PLO Lumumba. Let us be clear. Africa is not a dumping ground. We are not a trash bin for prisoners. We are not a dustbin for outdated things. So they are not good for them, but they are good for Africans. So, brothers and sisters, especially young people, to those leaders who have accepted such kind of deal, I think must be held accountable. So how can you accept such kind of deal? And how sure you are that these are prisoners? How sure you are? Maybe are spies, maybe are commandos, maybe are soldiers. Are you sure that these are criminals? I think African leaders never learn from the history. So people can stand somewhere and say, you know, these are prisoners. How sure you are? Why they are not staying where they are? Why they want to come to our mother continent, Africa? And this is not for the first time. You remember the Afghans were deported to some African countries. If you asked, where are they today? Do you know what they are doing? And sometimes we find ourselves into troubles and saying, you know, the jihadists, there's something, people doing that and that. Brothers and sisters, let us be vigilant. You know, a few days I shared the video, I think, in this platform, a Nigerian member of parliament talking about these terrorists using drones. So just imagine, where these criminals know to control drones. Who trained them? Who trained them? And yet today someone is telling us good story, you know, if you accept these people, you're going to get money. How can we make money? By accepting prisoners or by accepting criminals. There's no free lunch, dear lovely family. So if these people will break the prisons, what will happen to us? So, brothers and sisters, if you have something to share with us, I think you may do so through the comment section. Also, you may share this video to other Africans so that you can get more views from our brothers and sisters. On the issue of African Union, I think Professor has spoken very well that as long as we continue into division, we will continue to be told what to do. So we need to come together regionally and continentally. Of course, continentally, we have failed because you remember we have a lot of declarations, but none of them have achieved. So African Union, I think, has a great duty to do. Leaders in that organization, they have to make sure that they work for the people of Africa. We know that right now we don't have money. We are being funded by others. Even African Union itself is being funded by external, some NGOs, Western groups. But when Africans starting sponsoring their own project, you know, Africans, we are speaking many things. But when it comes to implementation, we are going to beg for money from those who we think they are abusing us. Today we are claiming, you know, America is not doing well to deport these prisoners into the continent of Africa. But we are the same people who are going to beg for help, for grant. So I think this is the right time for Africans to make sure that we can fund our project. It is possible. Projects must be funded by Africans. You know, you see things happening in Burkina Faso. That's the, you know, I have been using this example many times. You saw how Captain Ibrahim Traore bring people together. In Burkina right now, as I speak to you, everyone is contributing. Those who have money are contributing money. Those who have energy are contributing energy. Those who have food, they are contributing food. Those who have ideas, they are contributing ideas. Everyone is contributing. So if we can do so continentally, this continent can move in the right direction. The problem that we have is leadership. We know the system of getting leadership or leaders in the continent of Africa is a corrupt system. A good people right now in Africa cannot become a leader. Even Traore, I'm telling you the truth, even Traore, if he had to contest at that time before removing the previous president through military coup, he wouldn't win the election. Why? Because the system is not allowing good people. Have an example of Julius Malema. And have created the video asking, do you see South Africans are going to give Malema opportunity to lead them? The system will not accept. The system wants a divided Africa. So someone who looks like is going to unite Africans is a threat to the system. The system will not accept him or her. And that's what's happening to our continent. So we can speak many things as long as young people who are supposed to be the drivers of our agendas are keeping silent. We are going nowhere. You know, the current young people are being told you are the leader of tomorrow, and we know that tomorrow will never come. If, for instance, you remember even Captain Traore when he came to power, he was told that you are still young. But I have been asking this question many times. What was the age of Kwame Nkrumah when he took the lead of to demand independence for the Ghana? What was the age of Pacis Emile Lumumba? What was the age of Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere? What was the age of Modibo Keita? What was the age of Thomas Isidore Sankara when he led revolutions in Burkina Faso? They were young at the ages of 20s, 30s. So today you find young people in 40s saying they're still young. They're waiting maybe to become elders. And of course we know, as I said, the system is not granting young people to be leaders right now. You see, for instance, the president of Cameroon, Paul Biya, he wants to contest for the next election. His age, 92 years old. And he still wants to be a president. So when will young people come to power? If someone can stay in power for 42 years, when will new generation come to power? Yes, you can stay long, but what are you offer? Look what happened to Amazonia, what happened to Cameroon. So the matter here is not about staying in power. You can stay in power, but what are you offering when you are in power? You can stay even for 50 years, but what are you doing in power? That's what we're asking. Have you created good environment for value addition? Have you created good environment for job creation? Do we have food on the table? Can we move without any consequences from one place to another? There's a security. When I become sick, can I be treated in the continent? So those are what we are asking. So brothers and sisters, I think we need, as Africans, especially young people, to push the agenda of unity. Because without coming together, this continent will continue to be told what to do. I've been giving an example of Europeans. When Europeans wanted to conquer Africa, they came together in Berlin. We call Berlin Conference. They shared their views, ideas, how they are going to conquer, and how they are going to put these artificial borders, and they draw these artificial boundaries. They own some countries. That's what they do. Even we Africans, if we want to undo the Berlin Conference, we need to come together. We need to unite. I've been shared the issue of reparation. Of course, right now, Africans in the continent and those who are in the diaspora are talking about reparation. We're asking for reparation for colonialism effect and the slavery. But guess what? These people who are asking for reparation are so united. But we Africans who are asking reparation, we are divided. So who will hear us? So they can come together and say, nothing you're going to get. Stay your home. And you will be slapped and keeping silent. So if we want something, we need first of all to come together, to unite. We have examples. Look, recently when ECOWAS threatened to invade Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso said they are going to join Niger. You can see the power of unity. Maybe that example is not good for you. You remember when during the apartheid regime in South Africa, African countries came together. What happened to Zimbabwe? Ian Smith. Africans came together and say, you have to go, you have to leave Zimbabwe. The same to Mozambique. You know what happened to Mozambique? African nation leaders at that time came together. But the current leaders, they're so polarized. We are speaking diplomacies. That's a good thing. But what is our future? What we want as Africa? We have to define what we want, as Professor said. So, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen, up to that, I have no more to share, but the aim is to share good advice and message from Professor PLO Lumumba to the people of Africa. So we need to be respected. We need to make this continent respected, and we must tell those who want to dump their people, to dump things that is not good for us, that this Africa is not a dumping ground. So if you want to join this movement, to join this revolution, please make sure that you have subscribed and you like the video, and then you can share this message to others. Make sure that you subscribe so that you can join this big family of Make Africa Great. We are here always to share our thought, ideas, to find some best solutions for challenges. That's what we are doing. So that is our contribution. Dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans, let me say, stay in power. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa.